Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're digging into some fascinating research today, all about human flourishing and, well, how to actually make it happen in daily life.
Yeah, and the topic today is a big one. Happiness.
Right, happiness. But not in the way we usually think about it, like some prize you find.
Exactly. The sources we've analyzed frame it very differently. It's about happiness as a daily, active
Mhm.
creation, something you build.
Okay, I like that. So it's not passive waiting.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The listener's mission here is to shift from maybe waiting to find happiness to actually grasping the idea that you have to make it every single day.
That feels empowering, but maybe a bit daunting too.
It can seem that way, but the research breaks it down. It's not about finding some perfect state you hold on to forever. It's more like a dynamic process you engage with each morning.
Ah, I like that analogy the sources use about sunlight.
Precisely. Happiness is like sunlight. It's always potentially there, but it won't just flood your room on its own.
You have to get up and open the curtains every morning.
Yes, some days might feel brighter, others cloudy, sure. But that act, that choice to open the curtain, that's yours. That's the creation part.
Okay, so the goal of this deep dive isn't chasing some high-energy, perfect joy then.
No, not quite. It's more about unpacking how to build a peaceful life. The research suggests happiness is often quieter than we think.
Built from small choices.
Exactly. What the sources call small drops that fall gently throughout your day. That's what we're looking for, those sustainable, gentle drops.
Right, let's get into how we actually do that. Where does the construction begin?
Well, the sources point very clearly to the start of the day. How we begin sets the tone.
Which, for most of us, is pretty chaotic, right? Alarm blares, cortisol
We're
spikes.
immediately blabbing the phone, right?
Yeah.
Flooding the brain with everyone else's demands before our feet even touch the floor.
Yeah, we're basically frantic before we're even fully awake.
And that sets a default mode for the brain. Urgent, reactive. The research says we need to intentionally intervene right there. It starts with asking yourself a really crucial, maybe counterintuitive question first thing, before the noise gets in.
Okay, what's the question?
What kind of day do I want to create today? But here's the key part. Specifically in alignment with my soul's needs.
Whoa, okay, that's different. Not what do I need to do today, but what does my soul need today?
Exactly. It bypasses the to-do list, the emails, the external pressures just for a moment and forces an internal check-in.
That's a huge shift. But, for people really driven by productivity, taking that pause might feel indulgent. How do the sources justify it?
The justification is actually quite practical based on cognitive reframing. It's not just navel-gazing.
Right.
The simple act of, say, closing your eyes for 60 seconds, taking one deep breath, and maybe even whispering, "Today I choose peace." It actually interrupts that automatic adrenaline spike.
Ah, so it's like a preemptive strike against stress.
You got it. It's preemptive calm.
Yeah.
You're consciously choosing the lens through which you'll view the day's inevitable stressors before they hit you full force.
So it's a nervous system regulation technique, essentially.
Yeah.
Choosing peace before the world tries to snatch it away.
Precisely. Think about it. If you start the day rushing, your brain is just reacting, ping-ponging from one stimulus to the next.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
But if you start with that moment of intention, even if the world outside is still chaotic, the traffic jam, the urgent email, you've already established a kind of inner anchor.
So you carry that calm inside the chaos.
That's the idea. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting impulsively. You're navigating the storm from a slightly calmer place within.
Okay, that makes sense. So intention is the foundation. What are the next building blocks? The sources talk about small drops.
Right. Once that intention is set, the day isn't built with grand, dramatic gestures. It's built moment by moment with small, repeatable actions. This is where daily rituals come in.
And we're not talking complicated ceremonies here.
No, not at all. The examples in the research are incredibly simple, which is why they're powerful. It could be drinking your morning tea or coffee slowly, really tasting it.
Instead of gulping it down while checking emails.
Exactly. Or writing just like 2 sentences in a journal about how you feel. Taking 3 conscious breaths while the kettle boils.
Even smiling at someone.
Yes. Or consciously saying thank you and meaning it. These tiny acts done with awareness are the small drops.
It sounds like it's about injecting love or awareness into ordinary things.
That's a great way to put it. Doing ordinary things with love, as one source says, it transforms the mundane.
Like finding a mini flow state in everyday tasks.
Sort of, yeah. It's about mindful engagement. And this connects to another key idea, rhythm.
Rhythm. How does that fit in?
Well, often when life feels repetitive, we see it as boring or empty, right? Like drudgery.
Sure, Groundhog Day.
But the research suggests reframing that. Repetition isn't emptiness, it's rhythm. Like the sunrise. It happens every day, but it's reliably beautiful if you choose to see it that way.
Finding wonder in the familiar.
Yes. If you can appreciate the pattern of the leaves on your walk or the sound of your own breathing, you have an endless supply of small joys available.
That rhythm, then, does it connect to purpose? The sources mention purpose as a kind of secret ingredient.
Absolutely. Purpose shifts the focus. It elevates things. The research highlights this really well with an anecdote about a hospital cleaner.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading that. She was remarkably cheerful.
Right. And not because cleaning floors is inherently thrilling work, but because she saw her purpose differently. She said she was making a small part of someone's life better.
Ah, so her purpose wasn't cleaning, it was service.
Exactly. That reframing infused her daily tasks with meaning. It wasn't just a job, it was a contribution.
And that principle applies anywhere, presumably. Cooking becomes care, not just a chore. Admin work becomes stewardship.
Precisely. Purpose turns ordinary actions into meaningful expressions. It's a powerful happiness booster, even in tasks that seem small.
Okay, so we have intention, rituals, rhythm, purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But where do these things actually happen? Life feels so full sometimes.
That's the next crucial piece. Consciously creating and protecting space.
Space, you mean like physical space?
Sometimes physical, but more often mental and emotional space. The research points out that we tend to cram our lives, so full responsibilities, digital noise, expectations.
Yeah, there's no room left.
Exactly. There's no room for stillness, for quiet reflection, and the sources are clear. Happiness needs a bit of quiet space to actually grow.
So we need to value downtime, not see it as wasted time.
We really do. Allowing yourself a pause. Maybe it's a walk without your phone. Maybe it's 5 minutes staring out the window, just silence. It's not a luxury. It's like mental hygiene,
Right.
essential maintenance.
It's like tending a garden, maybe.
That's a perfect analogy. And the sources use it too. Happiness is like a garden. You have to actively tend it,
Water it with gratitude.
pull out the weeds of negativity.
Give it sunlight through kindness.
Exactly. You have to be the active gardener of your own internal world. It requires conscious effort.
Okay, that's the creation part. But gardens need fences too, right? The world can be pretty harsh. How do we protect this inner peace once we start creating it?
Ah, yes. Protection. This leads directly to the concept of boundaries.
Which can feel really difficult or selfish sometimes.
We're right, but the research frames it differently. It's not about pushing people away aggressively. It's described as the art of boundaries, and it's more like essential energy accounting.
Energy accounting, explain that.
Well, think about it. If you say yes to every single request, or you feel obligated to jump into every argument or drama you're invited to,
You get completely drained.
exactly, you deplete your inner resources. Setting a boundary like saying no kindly or choosing not to engage in negativity isn't selfish. It's sacred, according to the sources. It protects the energy you need to cultivate your own peace and ultimately to give genuinely to others.
So protecting your space is like managing your resources wisely. Not confrontation, but conservation,
Precisely. And this ties straight into self-care.
which often gets dismissed as bubble baths and candles.
Yeah, it can be that, but it's much deeper. The sources stress that true self-care is really an act of self-compassion, and you need that for sustained happiness.
Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's the essence of it. You can't pour light into others if your own flame is dim. Every act that nourishes you, mind, body, or spirit, whether it's setting that boundary or reading something fulfilling or just getting enough sleep, it's an investment in your capacity for happiness.
And doing that sometimes takes courage, doesn't it?
A lot of courage, often. Choosing what feels true for you, for your soul's needs, instead of just doing what's easy or what pleases others. That takes guts.
Sometimes the bravest act of happiness creation is just walking away from something that consistently hurts your soul.
Absolutely. That's a powerful form of protection and self-care.
Okay, so we've covered intention, building blocks, creating space, protecting it. What about maintaining this? How does perspective fit in?
Perspective is huge. The sources emphasize that so much of our potential happiness relies on noticing the simple gifts that are already here.
Things we normally overlook.
Totally. Like the way sunlight hits a wall, or the sound of laughter nearby, maybe the smell of rain. These small things are only visible if our eyes, our attention are actually present.
Ah, presence. Not being lost in yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's anxieties.
Exactly. Happiness lives in the present moment.
Yeah.
And this constant noticing, this presence, it helps combat something psychologists call hedonic adaptation.
Right. That's where we get used to good things really quickly and they stop making us happy.
Yeah, you get a raise, it feels great for a bit, then it's just normal. But consciously noticing the small good things keeps them feeling fresh. It fuels gratitude.
And gratitude seems key here. The sources mention it a lot.
Definitely. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's not toxic positivity.
It's more like a filter.
A perspective filter, yes. It helps turn what you have into enough. It grounds you in the reality that even on tough days, there's usually something to acknowledge, something not wrong.
Okay, but what about those really tough days? When choosing happiness feels impossible? When you're depressed or overwhelmed by stress? You can't just choose to feel joyful then, can you?
No, and that's a crucial point the research addresses. The instruction isn't to force joy on those days. It's to gently nurture peace.
Nurture peace, not force joy. I like that.
It acknowledges that happiness, real sustainable happiness, means being real. Authenticity matters more than constant positivity.
So it's okay to be sad. It doesn't mean you failed at creating happiness.
Absolutely. Okay. It's vital, actually. Allowing sadness, grief, frustration to exist without shame is part of the process. You can cry, feel broken, and still hold on to a belief in light, still choose the path towards peace, even if it's just one tiny step. That's resilience.
Resilience isn't avoiding struggle, it's navigating it intentionally.
Exactly. It's the ability to keep choosing that intentional path aligned with your heart's peace, even when it's hard. No perfection required.
Okay, so looking outward now, the sources wrap up with some key practices that amplify all this inner work. Connection comes first.
Yes. We're wired for connection. True happiness rarely thrives in isolation.
And it's deeper than just small talk, right?
Much deeper. It's about deep listening, really hearing someone. It's about sharing vulnerability with people you trust. Even simple things like a genuine smile exchanged with a stranger. These moments create ripples of warmth.
Reminds us we're in this together.
Then there's giving.
Acts of kindness. The research is pretty clear on this one boosting well-being, isn't it?
Incredibly clear. Doing something kind for someone else reliably activates the reward centers in our own brains. It confirms that old wisdom.
The hand that gives is the hand that receives.
Exactly. It shifts focus outward and generates immediate positive feelings. Small acts of generosity have a big impact.
And the final piece they mention is forgiveness.
Right. Forgiving others is important, obviously, for letting go of resentment that poisons our own well-being.
But the sources put a special emphasis on self-forgiveness too.
Yes, because happiness really struggles to grow in soil that's choked with guilt and self-criticism.
Holding on to past mistakes.
Constantly beating yourself up. Self-forgiveness is about consciously letting go of that internal critic, acknowledging maybe that you did the best you could with what you knew back then.
And that frees up energy.
Tremendous energy. Every time you forgive yourself, you release psychological resources that were tied up in regret, and you can reinvest them into creating a better, more peaceful present.
Wow. Okay, so pulling all these threads together then. This deep dive seems to land on a core idea. Creating happiness isn't really about adding more achievements or possessions.
No, it seems to be much more about adding awareness, slowing down enough to notice.
Breathing deeper, setting those intentional boundaries.
Choosing peace, choosing love, choosing connection in those small, almost invisible ways every single day, starting each morning.
The realization then is actually one of, immense personal power, isn't it?
Profound self-empowerment. Happiness wasn't out there waiting to be found like buried treasure. It was always here, inside, like raw material waiting for us to shape it.
Waiting to be made. That power to create joy and peace, it's been within us all along.
That seems to be the fundamental message from the research.
Okay, so since every morning truly is a fresh start, a new chance to open the curtains, here's something for you, the listener, to take away and consider.
If happiness really is built drop by drop through these small, intentional choices,
What is the one tiny, maybe protective, maybe nurturing choice you can commit to making tomorrow? Something simple, maybe delaying checking your phone by just 5 minutes, or choosing 5 minutes of silence over background noise.
something that aligns with your heart, your soul's needs, even if nobody else on earth notices you doing it.
That single, small choice, that gentle drop, according to this research, that's enough. That's where building real, sustainable joy begins.